Hello, cinephiles! It's All That Film, and this week we're going to be talking Stranger Things Season 3, or Stranger Things in general, and doing a draft of our favorite characters. I'm joined with a guest you'll remember, Hannah.
Hi, hello.
And a new guest, Andrea.
Hello.
Andrea, to share a little bit about yourself, tell the listener your favorite actress at the moment.
My favorite actress is Michelle Williams. She just got nominated for an Emmy, so that's amazing. And
For which show?
The one with Sam Rockwell. I forgot the name. Oh my god, I'm a fake Michelle Williams fan.
I'm looking it up right now.
My favorite performance from her is Blue Valentine, which is also one of my favorite movies. I just love, frustrated wives who's trying to save their marriage. I love those kind of characters, and she just does it perfectly. I just love her.
So the show was Foes and Verdone?
Oh,
Fosse and Verdone?
Fosse. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, no, definitely put that on my watch list. She's got some great performances. I think even though did she win for Manchester? I forget. No, Casey just won.
No.
She's great in Manchester by the Sea.
She would have won. She should have won.
I also think, just another plug, because we're going to have me and Blake are going to have another bonus episode this week. While I think the film is just okay, I think Michelle Williams gives a terrific performance in Take This Waltz. So be on the lookout for me nominating her. But let's get into it with some segments. So this week, we're going to start off with movie news. So I have 3 pieces of news, and I'm just checking to see if you guys are interested in them. So first piece of news, Criterion, the film service that provides amazing movies, is still yet to have posted their 1,000th cover. So no one knows what it is. People are left guessing. Is it the B movie? Maybe. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your ideal movie 1,000 for Criterion to release?
I don't even really know what Criterion is.
Okay. So let me explain that. Sorry, that probably would have been really important for anyone that is also on the same boat. Criterion is basically, they're like a group that's trying to promote different types of films, specifically ones that need to be remastered or had never been released in the first place. For instance, a film like Blood Simple by the Coen brothers isn't readily available on DVD everywhere. So Criterion made a great version with them, has the writers, directors, like all the people involved. They do a bunch of interviews on the bonus material for that stuff. So it's pretty neat in that regard. There's a couple of films that a lot of people would recognize that are on Criterion. But yeah, it sometimes gets lumped in being super I like film type people, but I think they're doing a really great job of promoting just access for people to get, and especially with their new Criterion service or Criterion streaming service.
Oh, okay.
Andrea, do you have a pick by chance?
Yes, my pick is Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Whoa!
I think it is the best movie to ever exist. I'm on the Letterboxd page for it right now, and it's on Blake's watch list, and that's amazing. So Blake,
if you hear this, yeah, check it out.
Watch it.
It's gonna be number 1,000.
Yes.
Criterion will hear this and immediately change their.
Yes, I just checked, and it has a Blu-ray, but we're gonna ignore that.
I mean, that's fine. Again, it's pick any film you want. I just meant when people are like, "Oh, hey," I don't know. There's people that are like, "Ooh, Shrek should be on Criterion," and obviously they're sort of joking, but it's well, Shrek. Everyone can see Shrek anywhere. For my pick, as tempting as it would be for me to go with the Vengeance trilogy, because I really want to see a remastered version of that, especially with a ton of information given from Chanpar Woke. I'm actually going to go with Memories of Murder because I can literally not find it anywhere. I believe it was taken off Amazon Prime, so I cannot watch it anymore. And I would pay good money just to get a chance to watch a phenomenal film.
Yeah.
But Hannah, you are up with your pick.
I'm really trying to think of one right now, and I can't. The Neil Breen movies. Bring them to Criterion.
All right, sweet. Do you want a whole set?
Yes, they're impossible to order online on DVD.
And people need to see them.
They need to see them ASAP. They're phenomenal.
I still haven't seen any of his movies.
Oh my
Just because I know they're just
Freaking
so much
great.
of an experience that
Get a lot of friends together and just watch them. They're great.
All right, so that's our 3 great picks. It ended up being a little bit longer for just a little bit of movie news, but this one's fairly short. Universal lands Olivia Wilde from Booksmart fame to follow up her directorial success with a holiday comedy.
Oh.
How do you guys feel about that?
I'm in the very minority here. I wasn't a huge fan of Booksmart. I think that she directed it very well. I think it's very well directed. But I'm not a fan of the comedy in Booksmart. I didn't think it was all that funny. So yeah.
Andrea?
I love Booksmart. I love the humor of it. It was just 90 minutes of me just laughing so much. I love it. So yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I haven't seen Booksmart.
Oh my god.
So I'm excited to see this as a companion piece to No, but I'm interested in what she does, but I still have to check out Booksmart. But moving on to the biggest piece of news of this week, a little superhero studio announced a couple things. So I guess we'll talk about them. Marvel did Comic-Con right before we were recording this and basically just blew everything up. I had to scroll for a very long time to get away from Marvel news for the other 2 pieces. But I'm going to limit it for you guys in picking your favorite of the or not. It doesn't necessarily have to be a favorite, just the one you're most excited about. So I'll start with Hannah. What is your item that they announced that you're most excited about? Any of their projects?
As tempted as I am to say Black Widow because I'm really excited for this Black Widow movie, I'm gonna go with Thor, and it's called Thor and Love and Thunder. In a Marvel movie where, all of them seem, they all are pretty formulaic and have a similar, feel and taste to them, I guess. And then Ragnarok comes along and it's this completely weird, like, it seems like a New Zealand movie instead of a, big budget, like, Marvel movie. It seems like Taika just did this on his own without Marvel. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what he can do with a Thor movie when he's writing it, because he didn't write Ragnarok. He just had everyone improvise everything. So,
Hi, Andrea, what's your pick?
It's like not new, but my favorite, or like the one I'm most excited about, is the Falcon and Winter Soldier show.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, Bucky is like the best thing to ever happen to me ever. He's like my favorite character from the MCU, and I'm just super excited to just get more of him, because usually he has like 3 lines in every movie, so I'm so excited to hear him talk.
Oh, man, I'm really tempted to say, and I won't, because this other project just excites me just because of the lack of understanding it. But I'm really excited for Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness. However, I'm going to have to go with Shang-Chi, because I just think there's enough amount there's enough amount of uncertainty to that project, and I like when Marvel just tries something new, whereas Doctor Strange is a sequel, and I sort of know what to expect from that. I think this, as much as I'm sort of like, oh my God, like Marvel, please just take a break for a second. Like, we get it. You guys are making a ton of money. And like, I still love all their, the weird part is like, you know, I said to my friends, I was like, oh my God, they're releasing 4 movies a year still. But like, I looked at the list and I was like, well, I mean, you can't get rid of Thor 4. You can't get rid of this one. And I was like, yeah, but I guess they should just space it out. But as long as they keep churning out good ones, I'll probably still be checking it out. But yeah, Shang-Chi is my choice. So feel free, fellow listener, to share your favorite or most excited for a piece of news that was released from the MCU whole hubba bubba. Then we'll move on to the second segment, which is picking y'all's qualifiers to see if they are eligible for the fan vote. So these are films that people have nominated on our Twitter thread. It's pinned. It's the pinned tweet on our Twitter. So if you want to check that out and nominate 3 films yourself, feel free. We're always looking for tons of other opinions on films. But this week, we have 4 lovely films to decide from. So without further ado, we'll start it off with Black Swan, one of our nominees for Best Picture on me and Blake's episode last week. This is a yes for me, but Andrea, how do you feel on Black Swan getting in the top 64?
I love Black Swan, and I think it's terrifying. I think it's amazing filmmaking, but I don't know. I don't see it belonging in the top 64. I know.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of other movies that you could put. I don't know.
No, you're fine. I'm not saying that like wow. Oh my God. I just mean like wow. Andrea bouncing out Black Swan, laying the heat on Natalie Portman. But Hannah, what's your verdict now that you have the last vote that decides it all?
This is my second favorite film of all time, so it's a big fat yes for me.
All right. Well, there we go.
Natalie wins this round.
Yeah, and if you
Andrea 0, Natalie 1.
This is just a reminder, or just a first time for anybody listening. If you didn't know how these nominees work, these are just for the fan vote at the end. So this doesn't mean that Black Swan is automatically in the tournament. It still has to make the top 10 of the fan vote, whatever you guys decide. But just re-explaining that, we're moving on to Lady Bird, and I'll let Andrea start off with this one.
Oh my God, Lady Bird. Oh my God, I'm at a loss for words. I have a very weird relationship with this movie. I don't know, because I think it's amazing. Like, objectively, it's a good movie. But everyone who's seen it was like, oh my God, when you watch Lady Bird, it's going to be like vindication, or like you can find solace or something. Oh my God, I'm going to talk for like 10 minutes about this.
You're good.
So, I don't know. It just, when I watched it, I didn't really feel like that vindication they were saying. That I didn't really find Lady Bird that relatable, and that kind of threw me off. And it kind of, I don't know, it hurt me a bit. Like, what's happening? Why is everyone like relating to this movie and I'm not? Like, it's very isolating, but then that isn't really like a valid critique of Lady Bird. Like, I know Greta Gerwig doesn't owe me a movie about my life, so
going after Greta and Natalie in one episode.
But it's a good movie. I mean, objectively, it's really good, and I'm like happy that it got like the praise that it did. So, I think it's a good movie objectively. So I'm gonna say yes.
Oh, okay. So the movie she doesn't resonate with, she's still going yes. Very surprising. I'll let Hannah go next.
Yeah, I agree, Andrea. I like this movie. I've seen it twice, and both times that I've watched it, I've enjoyed it. But I've never had that moment where it just clicked for me, because everyone else is like, it's like the best thing to ever happen to coming of age movies, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, Call Me by Your Name count in the same year, and that's so much better of a coming of age film, and it's a romance on top of that. But we're not gonna get into that.
Don't compare masterpieces to every other film.
But yeah, I've never really gotten this movie. I think that Greta Gerwig, she wrote a good script, and it's directed fine. and the performances are good, but yeah, I don't think so.
All right, so I get the final say. The straight white male deciding Lady Bird's fate. No, but this is actually a yes for me. And the opposite of what both of you are saying happened to me. I actually watched this on I watched this on my laptop. I didn't even see it in the theater, which I still to this day I'm like, why did I do that? You could have, but it wasn't playing in my area because it went and passed and really wasn't out for long. But I really, really love Lady Bird. I think it's a really well written script. I think is it Laurie Metcalf? I forget.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she's incredible as a mom, and I think just it has a lot to say about sort of like growing up and not realizing all of the things like people were, or sort of like taking those things for granted. And I think Greta really does something unique with her writing style. But I understand what you guys are saying, because I actually feel a very similar way about a film that we're not going to vote on today. But I feel a very similar way with Moonlight, that all these people were like, oh my God, like Moonlight means so much to me. And I just kept thinking, I'm like, man, I just wish I saw like the same thing you did. But, you know, different experiences. But Lady Bird, you are also in. So
she made it.
As much as Hannah tried not to. But next we have Hannah going first. And with your love of Taika Waititi, I'll let you take on What We Do in the Shadows.
Ooh, okay. What We Do in the Shadows, 100% yes. I can't even get my words together right now. I love What We Do in the Shadows so much. I can't even put it into words. It's probably my second favorite comedy of like the decade. I think it's a masterpiece and like of comedy. Taika, thank you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. It's just for whatever reason when I first watched What We Do in the Shadows, I think I was, because this was when like in a weird period where like I would do multitask while watching movies, and like there's so much like creative comedy that like you have to pay attention to things, and sometimes they're like referencing things that are 3 scenes ago, like, and it's really smart in that way. So I definitely would love to see comedy that's well made make it into the tourney. So this is a fat yes for me. But Andrea, what do you say?
I say yes. I think Taika is brilliant. I love him. Yes.
All right. Well, then we'll go on to our last one of the group. And this is going to be Hereditary. So I'll go first. I'm not a big Hereditary fan, so I'll get that out of the way before everybody else gets to love on it. This is a no for me. It's a really well-made film. It's a really great directorial debut, but I wouldn't put it in my top 64, so therefore it doesn't make it. But you, actually, it's Andrea's turn, so feel free to gush if you may.
I don't know. I love Hereditary. Like, I don't know, I love it, but is it worthy of being in the top 64? I don't know. There are a lot of other horrors that I can think of that belongs more to the top 64. So while I love it so much and I love Toni Collette in it, I think I'm gonna say no.
Oh no! I messed up. I should have waited for when I thought you guys were gonna say fat yeses. Everyone's gonna get mad at me. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Hannah, what's your pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a fat yes. I'm not a huge horror fan, and for me to watch a horror movie and like end up full heart, I can't talk. Fully loving it is a rarity. So yeah, I love this movie so much.
Sweet. Then everybody, if you want to attack anyone, leave Hannah out of it and just come at me and Andrea. But yeah, those are our picks. So 3 of them got in. So let us know what you think of those 3, and let us know if we've messed up on Hereditary. Remember, it's not out of the tourney. It is still eligible to make the tourney, which it probably will. But we're gonna move on to the main topic we're doing. I'm gonna skip the like it, love it, because we sort of ran long with movie news. But we're going to do a Stranger Things character draft, picking our favorite characters. Do you guys want to share a little bit of your thoughts on season 3? And we'll keep it not spoilers, but I mean, it's been 2 weeks, and I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, have you not found 10 hours of your time to see Stranger Things 3? I just think anyone listening, we'll keep it non-spoilers just for the general thoughts. But just, Hannah, you can go first. What do you feel about this new season?
I haven't really loved a season of Stranger Things since the first season. I think the first season is a near perfect season of television, and then season 2 was a letdown, and then season 3 was better than season 2 for sure. But I still think that first season was just lightning in a bottle, and they just you can tell that they were given a certain amount of money for the first season. They like made everything they could with that, amount of money and put every ounce of love into it. And then like season 2, it's like you can tell they're like, let's try and fit all the things that we can do into this season. And then season 3 felt like they like stepped back from that a little bit, but also they're like, no, we still want to like try and like do so much, and it works, but also like not the way that I've seen it done before in the first season. So yeah.
Gotcha. Sweet. Andrea, how do you feel about this season? Or just Stranger Things as a whole? Sorry.
Yeah. I love Stranger Things because I love kid friendships and found family and just, adventures. And the third season was really fun, especially the really early episodes, the mall montage with Elle and Max.
Yes.
I just started crying. I loved it so much. And I don't know, when I watch movies or like TV shows, when I get attached to the characters, I start to not pay attention to the plot. So I don't know, it's hard for me to be objective about this because I really love the ensemble. I love everyone. So I don't know, that's why I like the early episodes so much, because it's just them having so much fun and there are no monsters. And when the monsters arrive, I get a little disappointed because I just want to watch them, go to the mall and talk to each other and just play and everything. So I don't know, I have a lot of fun with Stranger Things. It's something I always look forward to.
Of course, yeah. Well, I'm gonna agree with you, especially because I think this season in particular, if we're just getting into thoughts on this new season, I think one of the things that was abundantly apparent to me is I just really love these actors just acting together. Like they have great chemistry. They just know how to work off each other in this organic way. That's just there's something like beautiful about getting, what are we at now? Like 12 main characters? And they still like when they split them up in different dynamics, like everybody still knows their role perfectly. And it's almost to the point where like, if you're going into Stranger Things, you know this. If there's a sci-fi thing that's happening, I'm like, yeah, but go back to when they were in the mall. I like that. And I think it was you, Andrea, that was just like Freaks and Geeks, but with the Stranger Things cast. And I was like, oh my God, like that's a beautiful idea. But I'm a little different than Hannah on the seasons. I thought, because I was late to the Stranger Things love, everybody was just like, oh my God, Stranger Things. Oh my God, Stranger Things. And I watched season 1 and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's solid, but it just didn't seem that like groundbreaking to me. But when I watched season 2, and I'll explain this because season 2 is a letdown in some ways that I will definitely agree with you guys on. When I watched season 2, I thought it was way better. However, I stopped at episode 6. And episode 7, and this was just a coincidence. I didn't even know episode 7 was the weird sort of bad one. And episode 8 and 9 aren't the best of that season as well. So I think it goes back to what Andrea was saying, like, oh, those character dynamics that they just do so well at the beginning. Because I just loved Billy and Max's introduction. And I just thought like Billy worked off perfectly for what they were trying to change for Steve. And just sort of being like, oh, this is Steve if he never changed and just did roids and was way more macho. But that's just general thoughts for us. So Andrea, after we let the gods of choice decide, you are up with the first pick. Who was your favorite character of Stranger Things season 3, or the most valuable, whichever one you want to do?
My favorite out of everyone has got to be Max.
Wow.
I was just super happy when she got introduced, because in the earlier seasons, 11 was just like hanging out with all these boys.
All
and
the
I was
boys.
like, give this girl another girl, like give her a girlfriend. And I was just so happy when she was introduced, but then 11 ended up hating her, I think, because she was hanging out with Mike. And I was so happy that they became friends this season. That's why I started crying in the mall montage, because I was just so happy. I'm very protective of Elle, so I'm super happy that she has like a girlfriend now who tells her that, oh, you actually have a choice. Like Max made her realize that she has control over what she does with her powers. It's like Elle was given agency this season through Max, and I just love it so much. I love her. She is the best character, period. Yes.
Sweet. Hannah, you are up with your best or second best if Andrea stole your Max.
She did not steal my Max. I'm gonna go with my dude Steve. I really enjoy Steve's character. In the first season, not so much, but I feel like season 2 and then especially this season, he's just one of the most likable characters that I've like seen in TV. I think that him and Dustin's relationship is so cute, and I love that
it's the best.
I love that they're really playing it up after what happened in season 2. They're like, we're really gonna capitalize on this relationship. And yeah, I think that he's great. He didn't really get a whole much to do, I guess, other than like the Russian stuff, but yeah.
I think he got the best stuff to do.
I mean, like
he's not my pick, but you know,
I mean, like,
I think he was great.
Like, he didn't really like in season 2. Like, he had like
he was such a important character to that story.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think one important thing, because he's for sure like he's not the best character in season 1, but I think he doesn't become as compelling if you don't have that start.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think he just capitalizes on his likableness. Like that's why. Mm-hmm. I've just always really connected with him ever since season 2. I think he's great.
Sweet, great pick. This is tough. I have 2 in a row. So I'll go. Do we want to do spoilers for? We're doing spoilers for season 3, because if you're watching a draft for season 3, I assume that you're not going to be like, oh, I wonder what characters they're going to pick, and not be like, wait, they spoiled it. So I'm gonna go Jim Hopper, because this character was and what's funny is my friend actually said, he's like, oh yeah, I think Hopper was the best, and he had finished it and I still hadn't seen the last episode, which, oh my god, because he's not a big crier in movies, and I'm a very big crier in movies, and obviously TV show, but still, and I was getting into it, and I saw his death, and I was like, well, that wasn't that sad. But then when Elle opens the letter, and I was like, oh my god, he's so cute writing that letter. And he ends it with, and remember, keep that door open 3 inches. Like, I just lost it. I was like, oh, he's such a great father. But he's just this
dad thing got me.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my first pick. With my second pick, as much as I could wait to pick this one, I have to go with my gut and pick my personal favorites. And I'm actually going to go Alexei. I thought this character was incredible, a wonderful addition to season 3. Again, that perfect understanding, like where you belong in the character dynamics. And I really, really just loved this story of this oddball being matched with Hopper and Joyce.
Okay.
But yeah, lots of fun. But Hannah, you are back up. What's your pick?
I'm gonna go with Jim Hopper.
Whoa! What?
Are we like doing like in order?
Yeah. You can't take like Max and Steve, Hopper, and Alexei.
Okay.
All
so
gone.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't clarify that.
Okay, never mind.
Picking our personal top 5?
You see. All
Oh,
right.
in that case, we would have started with 5.
Okay.
Take your time if needed.
I'm gonna go with
never
Will
mind.
then. Will is my pick. All right.
Ooh. Yes.
Will the Wise?
Will the Wise, yes. He wasn't really given much to do this season either, other than like touching his neck. But
Oh my gosh.
I've always really loved this character since season 1 and 2, and I feel like if those two, like if he wasn't such a great character in those 2 seasons, then I probably wouldn't be picking him right now. But I really loved it. I can't talk. I'm so sorry. I really loved him in this season too. I love that they gave the dynamic of him being the one out of the friend group that was like, I just want to do normal stuff. Like I just want to play, like I just want to play D&D. Like I just want to hang out with you guys. And they're like, nah, we gotta like defeat this big ass monster, and
or
also
we gotta hang out with girls. Yeah.
So
I love that they did that, and I thought Will what's weird is I heard a lot of people that were like, they didn't handle Will like in the season, and I agree they didn't give him like that much screen time. And for a large part of when things are going down, you're right, just touching his neck. But I really loved him at the beginning, and I thought he was pivotal to like making that relationship between Mike and Lucas like work so well still, because they were like, oh, forget this group, and like Dustin was off doing Steve stuff, and he was just like, guys, I really just want like normal stuff for once in my life, because this is the kid that has been dealing with the most of this group. But sweet. And we got Will. Andrea, you are back up with 2 picks.
Oh my god, 2 picks?
Yes, ma'am.
One of them is Robin.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love her. Like, everyone was saying that, oh, shows usually queer bait people. They queer bait audience. But Stranger Things, they straight baited the audience. And I just love that so much. I love Robin. She's so smart. She's so funny. I don't know. I just love her so much. And
I also...
Yeah.
I think they... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I just think they did a really smart way of telling that story, because, like, obviously Steve, like, was really digging her, and all signs pointed to doing that. And then they did a nice, like, switch, even though I sort of knew it was happening because my friend was like, oh, has the thing with Robin happened yet? And then, you know, that thing in your mind is like, wait, what thing with Robin? Is she secretly a Russian? Like, but then like as soon as they're doing the bathroom scene, I was like, oh, this is it. She's for sure a lesbian. I just like got the vibe immediately when Steve was like Robin, and I was like, oh no, she does not like Steve. But I just like that they still like Steve's. It's not one of those things that like is a major plot point, and Steve's like, wait, you like girls? Which is definitely something that could have happened if this were made in the actual 80s. So it's a nice change, but great pick.
Wait, I have a second one.
Yep, you are back up.
I'm gonna pick Joyce.
Ooh.
Yeah,
also great pick.
Yeah, I loved her right from the start. Just Winona Ryder just does so much with her character. Like, it's so easy to fall into like overacting and just like over the top. Oh, where's my son? You know, stuff. But he's just like
the lights are talking to me.
She was crazy in season 1.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I love that she's pretty chill this season because Will's not missing, but I still loved watching her. Like, her dynamics with Hopper is amazing. I just loved seeing the two of them on screen, and yeah.
Sweet. Then Hannah, you are up with your third pick.
I'm gonna go with my dude Murray. I'm so glad that they brought him back for this season, because I thought he was absolutely hysterical in season 2, and they bumped up the craziness a bit in this season, and I love that they gave him this dynamic with Alexi, and they just have this little bond, and I think it's so cute. And the comedy between them was great. Just the comedy with Murray in general, he's great. And that little girl Erica calling him bald multiple times was very effective. I laughed every single time. So
Sweet, great pick. Murray is off the board. All right. Let me think.
Are you looking up
Okay.
characters?
No. I have a character. I'm going to have to question you guys to see what you think on the grounds of this. If I pick Billy, do I get both Billies?
what?
Sure.
Like, do I get cracked out Billy and Billy?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Then I'm for sure picking Billy. I thought he was a great. As much as I love Stranger Things, I think part of the weakness is I'm not as compelled of being scared of the Demogorgon or whatever they call it, the Flayer or Mind Flayer. And I think Billy was a great villain, especially with that first part where he's just regular Billy. And he's weirdly attracting these moms. And I was like, huh. And I kept thinking to myself, I was like, this is a kid's show, right? And I was like, whatever. I guess it's teens. But I thought they handled his character really well, especially using him as a villain and giving him more of a background. So I thought he was a major plus for this season for me. I just realized I'm back up. Oh my God, I don't have another pick. Let me look. Jeez, this is. Oh wait, hold up! I'm for sure going with my boy Dustin. He's just lots of fun, like we're used to, and I love the payoff that we get to the whole girlfriend bit. Because I too was thinking the whole time he for sure doesn't have a girlfriend, and like they just do a wonderful like they could have made it to where like I don't know they could have done something poorly with it, but like. You see like the charm in him talking to his girlfriend and like the dynamic with it. However, I will say, I was a little annoyed because I know just as a regular, haven't even finished college yet, a regular engineer, I know Planck's constant. So I was like, well, how does this guy not know it? Like, I was a little upset, but that's for sure just on me. But Hannah, you're back up. You got to pick. What are you going with?
Oh man. It's kind of slim pickings right now.
How dare you?
I'm gonna go with Lucas. I feel like he's
Dang it! I thought I could get Lucas last round. I should have picked Lucas.
I feel like he's the most underrated out of the kids.
He's so good.
He's so likable. Like he's so funny, and I really appreciate him in these seasons. I think he's great. And I wish that. Huh?
Did you hear the bit about people being annoyed with the Coke part?
The what? Oh, the Coke?
When he's drinking the Coke, they were like, oh, that's blatant marketing. I was like, what? No, like, it's just a kid drinking a Coke.
Yeah. And it's a thing that happened. Like, people are legitimately, like, mad about new Coke.
That's why I was confused. I was like, the characters can do this. Like, I don't even think they got a marketing ad, like, from Coke. But that scene in particular, like, summed up why he was so good in season 3. Because, like, he's doing things that clearly are slightly annoying other people. And he's just like, oh, no, I'm just being a fun guy. And, man, Caleb Mclaughlin is just doing a great job acting with that character.
I wish that he worked more. I love him in everything that I've seen him in. And I want him to be in every movie.
I think he's gonna go to more stuff after Stranger Things.
I hope so. I hope all the kids, like Millie Bobby Brown, obviously, and Finn Wolfhard have gotten their strides, but everyone else, I'm just like waiting patiently. I'm like, Hollywood, get on
waiting
this.
for that Will standalone movie.
Yeah, I think he's the best kid actor.
Yes.
T.
I don't know about that. There's some good kids.
I mean,
maybe
his performance in season 2.
Yeah, he's for sure given a lot to do. But Andrea, you're up with your last 2 picks.
Wow, last 2. I'm gonna go with Jonathan and Nancy.
Okay. Oh wow! See what you did there.
The 2 of them, because I don't know, they're kind of a package deal, and I love their part in the season. Like they're just working on the newspaper. I love that part, and there was this car scene after they got fired where Nancy was talking about, oh, it's so hard to make it as a woman in the newspaper industry. And then Jonathan was like, I can't believe you got us fired. I need this money. And they're just like they're fighting. And then Nancy says, you don't understand it. And then Jonathan goes, neither do you. And it's just amazing because Nancy's talking about misogyny. And then Jonathan is talking about class. And it's just, I love that scene so much. The dialogue is amazing. And just that scene, I replayed it so many times because the dialogue is
For
just
sure.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfectly paced too. And the biggest thing I think that's so important to that, and I'm sure like this is like where you were going with it, is that like neither of the characters are wrong. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
Nancy was standing up, like she was standing up for herself rightfully, and you know, Jonathan was obviously there for her, but at the same time he got fired from the only source of income he had. Like
Yes.
and it's just this wonderful thing that like they're able to do with these characters so well in season 3, which is why we just need them doing non-stuff. Like if they, I just wish they were sort of going into like Goonies territory where they just like went on an adventure without like the
I
big
would
old
love that.
monster.
Without death.
Also, I thought Nancy was awesome with like the gun and the bat and her being like this
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
female lead. I was like, you go, Nancy.
Go Natalia Dyer. She's redeemed after Velvet Buzzsaw.
I didn't realize she was in Velvet Buzzsaw.
It's amazing in Velvet Buzzsaw.
Also a coffee girl in Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah.
Oh. But Hannah, you were up with your last pick. Who you got?
Oh man. Is there only like one person left to pick?
We still have 11. Mike. Let me run through the
Nobody's
rest of
choosing
them.
11.
I will
thought-
go Mike.
Oh boy, you're making me have to pick 11.
Oh man.
That's what you would think, but stay tuned.
I'm gonna go with Mike. I think that Finn Wolfhard is also one of the best out of the. They're all great, but Finn Wolfhard, he's easily a standout in the cast. And I feel like Mike is as likable this season as he was other seasons. But I still really like this character, and I like his dynamic with everyone, with everyone, especially Will. I feel like they definitely butt heads the most this season because of 11. Also with Lucas because of Max, and I like that dynamic. And yeah.
Sweet.
People on Twitter have been saying that Mike this season is just Finn Wolfhard not acting. That's just how he is in real life.
Poor Finn Wolfhard. He is the one out of the entire cast that I'm like, when did he grow up? Literally, like, he looks so much older than everyone else.
Well, you know what's weird about that? I listened to 2 separate podcasts. I haven't listened to the full episode, but 2 separate ones said Will looked like he hit puberty long before these other kids. And I was like,
What?
I don't think that's the case. I think
Finn Wolfhard did.
yeah, I was like, Caleb Mclaughlin and Finn Wolfhard look old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he definitely did you guys see the thing that was like someone made an article that was like the Stranger Things kids are getting older and that's a good thing. And someone commented on it. Did Drake write this article?
Oh no. Oh no.
With that said, I'll go with my last pick. As much as I'm tempted to pick a guy that works at the DVD place. I'm gonna have to go with 11. And this is not by default because she's still great. I think she sort of starts off better in the earlier parts of the season, especially her chemistry with Max works really well because she's just a material girl in a material world. But no, there's something very interesting about sort of Max, you know, this character that we don't sort of expect to be they don't go full like, oh my God, we're going to play with Barbies and all this stuff, but sort of introducing her into like, oh, here's what it's like to have a girl that's a friend instead of these 3 guys that literally for fun just fart on each other. So it was just really nice to see that change. However, I do think there was a little bit, and again, like she's a child actor, so this isn't on Millie Bobby Brown, it's on the directors. However, I think she does fall a little bit victim of overacting in a little bit of the parts at the end. But again, not her fault. There's a lot of things happening, so it's fine. But, when she's screaming every 10 seconds, I'm like, okay, we get it. You can scream. But yeah, that's my pick. So we have a team. If you guys want to let us know which team you think is the best, Team Andrea is Max, Robin, Joyce, and then Jonathan and Nancy. And then Team Hannah is Steve, Will, Murray, Lucas, and Mike. Oh,
Murray's the MVP.
You're missing Dustin. That's all you need. And then you have the kids and Steve. And then Team Hey, Hopper, Alexi, Billy, Dustin, and now 11. That's a weird ensemble that I put together. I definitely think y'all's team, like if we were combating a Demogorgon, oh my gosh.
I mean, you have 11. 11's kind of like the Captain Marvel of strength.
No, but I mean, like, I guess if I meant like if there were 5 different or 3 different stories and I had to choose between these 3 and being like, all right, these are possibilities of where we can make characters go. Like both of your other teams, I'd be like, yeah, I'd probably see that before mine. Like, I don't know. We're just missing something. Like the fact Billy's involved and Alexi's dead. Like, hopefully Alexi comes back. But that's our episode. Yeah. And on a sad note. But that's our episode. So thank you guys for listening. We're going to get into recommends for the week. This is any piece of media that you guys have been watching. Just recommended here. It can be a movie. It can be an album. It can be a TV show. It can be a literal painting you saw in a museum. But with that said, Andrea, you're up. What do you recommend from this week that you've been watching?
Well, since this is a movie podcast, I thought I would recommend the book.
Oh, plot twist.
I just finished Sarheart by Jenny Zhang, and I think it's getting adapted into a movie by A24. It's going to be directed by Kathy Yan, who's also directing the Harley Quinn movie. And I'm super excited because, I don't know, man, there are a lot of discourse around the lack of people of color in coming of age. And Sarheart is about this immigrant community. And it's coming of age, and it's amazing, and it's brilliant, and I just can't wait to see it on screen.
Sweet. That's a great pick. Definitely be on the lookout for that. I'll probably recommend it to my mom. She reads way more than me. And I'll let her decide if that was a worthy recommendation. But Hannah, you're up. What have you been watching that's good this week?
Well, I haven't watched it in a while because the second season of it ended like a month ago, but it just got nominated for a whole bunch of Emmys, so I'm gonna recommend Barry if you haven't seen it yet. Season 1 and 2. It's my favorite TV show of all time. It replaced Breaking Bad. And it's literally perfect. Like, whoa. I don't think there's any 2 seasons of TV that's more perfect than Barry. And if you haven't seen it yet, watch it. Bill Hader is great. Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome picks all around. For my recommend this week, I actually was having a ball watching some actual films this week, so I'll recommend a movie. Unlike my counterparts, because it's a movie podcast, Andrea. But I'm going to nominate Tootsie. This film absolutely.
So long.
I wish this is one of the movies that I watched, like, sort of when I was a kid. That my grandma forced me, like, this is good for you, because that's what she did with.
Made me watch it.
Well, that's what she did with Princess Bride, and like the whole idea of Princess Bride is the fact that this child doesn't want to hear this story about a princess. And I'm telling my grandma, I don't want to see a movie with the princess. And the same thing is present in Tootsie. I mean, you look at the poster and you're like, Dustin Hoffman as a woman. Like, it doesn't look that good. It looks a little cheesy. It for sure has a ton of 80s cheese. However, it is an amazingly scripted film. It is woke for the 80s incredibly. It would still work today. I think it has a lot to say about females in the working class, especially, again, just re-emphasizing this film was made in the 80s, which is just astounding to me because there's a ton of voices they give to people, and I think Cindy Pollock does a great job sort of navigating the script here and presenting it to us. But also Dustin Hoffman was incredible, and the rest of the cast deserves a ton of praise, but that's my recommend. All right, if you want to... Man, Hannah, you're transferring over your...
I'm so sorry.
No, but if you guys want to find us on any sort of... What? If you guys want to find us and reach out to us, you can do so. Our email is allthatfilm1@gmail.com. Our Twitter is allthatfilmpod. Our website is www.allthatfilmpodcast.wordpress.com. You can see a ton of great stuff, including all the films that are currently slated for our tourney at the start of 2020. And if you're listening to this on YouTube or Apple Podcast or Spotify and want to listen on a different platform, you can do so. All That Film is all you need to search. It should pop up. And if you guys want to join discussions with us, we have a Discord now. I'll leave the link below. It's just starting out, so it'll be a little bit less active at the start till we sort of figure the best course of action for that. But thank you guys for listening, and I have no clue what our episode is next week. So I don't know what... Oh, actually, I know we're having a bonus episode, and just to sort of sizzle it a little bit, we actually have Chris from CinemaSins that's going to be on with us picking the 2012 Oscars. Yep, it should be really fun. We'll have an interview with that because I sort of want to... There's this weird stigma with CinemaSins that I think people haven't, because they have a podcast separately and they're really interesting guys. And I think just because they found a thing that people are like, oh my God, like people are putting words in CinemaSins' mouth that like CinemaSins has never said. And that's one of those things like Ari Aster never said, I am the best horror director ever. Y'all should worship me. There's just people that do that. And I'm like, Ari Aster's the worst, when that's not the case. Like Ari Aster's a nice human being. Like he has a lot of talent with the camera. But that's our episode for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed our talk of Stranger Things. And thank you and Hannah, or why did I say you and Hannah? Andrea and Hannah for coming on. It's been an absolute treat. This was a really fun conversation.
Yay.
Boom goes the dynamite of podcasting.